All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for real people, just like you, just like me. Brian Howe left planet Earth way too soon. He was a gifted singer and songwriter. He was very underappreciated, especially as the years went by, when people started to think back at his tenure in Bad Company. It got lost on a lot of people at how impactful his time was with Bad Company. Of course, his former bandmates didn't really appreciate his efforts all that much. And even recently, when Brian passed away, people were calling Paul Rodgers and wondering if Paul was okay. And it was just a weird video to watch, to see Paul saying that he was fine and that nothing was really wrong. No mention of Brian Howe and his contributions. You know, look, I get it. This didn't work out as far as relationships. People who worked with Brian had some sort of inferiority complex when they worked with Brian Howe, because Brian had all the ideas. Brian and producer Terry Thomas, they had all the ideas. And they brought those ideas forward, and at first, you know, they sputtered a little bit during the whole Mick Jones time frame with all the keyboards. They got rid of the keyboards for Dangerous Age. They cranked it up even louder on Holy Water. And they finished strong on Here Comes Trouble, an album that was wrought with production issues, because at that point the band wasn't really cooperating and people were getting mad at each other, and the music industry was about to do a hard left turn away from the kind of music that Brian was making. Holy Water was a ginormous album, and Brian Howe's vocals could fill up any large stadium. This song that he's about to drop tomorrow, which I've already heard thanks to Brian's manager, Paul Easton, who sent me an MP3 of it, is something that you probably need to go grab a box of Kleenex. It's a short little song detailing the moments that would lead to Brian's passing, and then what will happen next to Brian. It's almost like, okay, I'm thinking about my own death. I wonder what's going to happen. Talking about kissing the faces of angels and so forth. I mean, this is the stuff that if you don't cry a little bit, you probably don't get it. You're probably just not that emotional. As I get older and I see the world in its current state, something like this can jar you. It can really get to your psyche, and you can think to yourself, whoa, I need to love people more. I need to do things. I need to get out there and enjoy life. Kind of hard when everybody's walking around with a mask on, but that's a whole other video. I don't want to get into that. But this is a song that will probably at least make you think, if it doesn't make you cry. Short little song with Brian singing his heart out, his voice in a very different place, vocally speaking, than his arena rock days. Vocally, he sounds almost the same, but the way he sings this track, it has a whole different feel to it. It's called Going Home. It will be released tomorrow, and it's available to stream on all your favorite platforms. If you can buy a copy of it, download it. It's worth it. Brian deserves this. Unfortunately, he deserved it more when he was alive. And the people who are now, hey, Brian was cool, Brian was great. I wonder where you guys were, when Brian was around and he still sounded like he did in, 1988. I'm wondering where all those record labels, those melodic rock record labels, went when Brian Howe had new material. And apparently he wrote this song fairly quickly, and he was on a roll, and it was done. It was in the can. And I guess, from what I understand, he was kind of a perfectionist, and he wasn't sure if this was good enough to release. And once you hear it, you'll, again, probably think, hey, Brian, this is really good stuff. This isn't the kind of music that you play when you go driving in the car with the windows down. This is the kind of music that will make you reflect on your own life and make you appreciate the time that you have, and also make you think of Brian, which is exactly, he was just pondering all of the age-old life questions that we all have when we get to the end of our lives. What's next? So in any event, tomorrow is the day. I was going to talk about this tomorrow, but now that I've heard the song, I couldn't keep it to myself, and I would recommend getting ready for this tomorrow and listening to it, and I think you'll be moved. You'll definitely be moved. All right, see you soon.